Hello, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be covering the top 5 video games I'd recommend to people who are in need and or looking for new games to play over this summer, or just in general, depending on when you're watching this. And this list will contain 5 diverse games, as in like different types of games from different genres and whatnot, so that it's not all the same, and this is all games I've played and enjoyed a ton and I would recommend. Now, obviously, that means that some games are not going to hit for some people. So, don't expect everything to hit. And in at number 5 is Subnautica. Now, Subnautica is a water-based game, and you're going to be underwater a lot of times. But basically, the premise of the game is you're in a spaceship with a bunch of people, something happens, and now you get ejected in a life pod onto a random planet. And that planet happens to have water. And in fact, there's basically no land as far as you can see, and it's all ocean, and it goes pretty deep. Like, it's really, really deep, and at times can be very, very scary just looking at the open ocean. But you also have a huge, obviously, you also have a huge shipwreck from your ship you're in, and the objective of the game is basically to explore the planet to figure out if anyone else is alive and to collect resources so you can survive and, leave the planet, find a place that's safe, go home, right? So you have to collect resources and minerals to, build up, technology so you can leave. And it sounds boring by saying that, but let me just tell you, there's more to it. Like, there's a whole on story. There's like 2 stories, I would say, in one, and it's like a mystery. It's like watching a stupid Scooby-Doo. I know it sounds stupid, but like a mystery like that. Where it's like you're on the edge of your seat, like thinking like, wow, what is the reason for everything that's happening? I'm not going to go into it, but you will only unravel it at the end of the game. Everything will make sense. And also, I should mention that it is considered a horror game, depending on who you are. It's not supposed to be a horror game. It's supposed to be like a survival game that you gather resources and whatnot and explore, an alien planet. But the creatures in here and the lighting stuff, it definitely will feel horrifying for some players, if not most. I know for me, when I first played it, I was scared shitless. Even though I knew what was going to happen and like knew everything before I started playing, I was still scared. Like, just the idea of like going to water and like not seeing the bottom, oh god, it was horrible. Horrible. Definitely recommend. The reason why it's at the bottom of this list, though, is because it's a really fun game to play for the first time. Out of all the games on this list, it's probably one of the most memorable games because it just leaves an impact on you. It definitely did when I played it, and the downside is after that first playthrough, you know everything, so there's really not much else to see in a second playthrough. In at number 4 is Cuphead. Now, I told you this list is diverse. We're going from a alien game to a stupid, a cartoon 2D game. And the game might seem stupid at first because, like, oh wow, very cartoon from the 1920s. But let me tell you, that is probably the best part of it. The entire game actually plays like you're in a 1920 cartoon. Like, everything, like the way everything moves, the sound design, it's just so perfect. Like, it literally feels like I'm watching like Mickey Mouse, like a cartoon Mickey Mouse. Like, that's what it feels like, and I love it. So what the game's all about is basically you gambled at the devil's casino and you lost your money and you couldn't pay off the devil, so you decide to make a deal with the devil, to basically kill people, and then he'll consider, not letting you pay the money. And so, basically, every single thing you have to kill, all the contracts you have to fill, are basically bosses. And there's a lot of bosses in this game, and the game handles it a lot more interesting than there's just bosses, because there's a variety of weapons, there's a bunch of skills you can learn, and the bosses are very unique and fun, and there's multiple different themed worlds. And I'm not selling it too well, but the experience of overcoming these bosses is amazing because the bosses are actually challenging, they look cool, they sound cool. And there's only like 1 or 2 bosses I would actually say are very annoying. And the best part about this game is that there's replayability. If you do beat the game, you can always replay it again and try to get perfect, scores on all the bosses. Basically, no hitting the boss on the hardest difficulty. And then you could even take it a step further and buy the DLC, which I think is actually worth it because it introduces some very, very challenging things. But I think the thing that makes me put this game on this list is mainly because the bosses are hard, but they're not too difficult. Overcoming them feels amazing. Learning a boss and, spending a bunch of time on a boss and then finally mastering it and going back and playing it over and over and being able to completely ravage it, it's just a great feeling that I really can't find in many other games. Also, there's no just, bullshit exploring or anything. It's just boss to boss to boss. And the number 3 is Lego Batman 2. Now, this game is phenomenal. It is amazing. It's my favorite Lego game out of all the Lego games. Now, Lego games can be hit or miss because a lot of times with Lego games, they're either too kid-friendly, as in like they appeal to too much to kids to the point where it's obnoxious, or they are just not that fun. But Lego Batman 2 does something very unique for the Lego genre that makes me love this game. Not only does it have amazing storytelling, but it also allows you to play freely on the streets of Gotham City. You heard me right. You can play in Gotham City and stop crime in Gotham City, helping civilians, and on top of that, you can customize what character you play, and you can choose what vehicle you'll use. Which means, in theory, you could literally decide, I'm gonna ride in Two-Face's truck as the Joker. Or you could decide to be Superman and fly Gotham City. And not only that, but in Gotham City, there is so much content. You can save civilians. You can, do puzzles. There's, every single main villain that you've ever heard of in Batman, the Batman series, or just DC in general, is in the city and casually can be 1v1'd. And there's also just obviously just like a bunch of other side quests you can do in the city, and that's the main selling point for me, because being able to basically roleplay in the city whenever you feel like, and also because it's a 2-player game, you can literally, just roleplay with someone else. It's just an amazing feeling. And on top of that, the levels are just amazing, and the story is phenomenal. It's basically like Doomsday in Gotham City to the extreme, if that makes sense. Like, Gotham City is... It's an insane story. I'm not going to say much more. I don't want to spoil it, but it's crazy good. Like, amazing. And at number 2 is Bloons Tower 6. Better known as Bloons Tower Defense 6. Wait, did I say that already? I don't remember. Did I say BDT 6? No, I didn't. I said Bloons Tower 6. I'm so slow. Anyways, I can't even pronounce my words. But Bloons Tower 6 might be a surprising entry on this list because it's a mobile game. But the reality of it is it's a mobile game and can be played on PC, which is actually a huge reason why it's on this list, because it's a great game to not only just play in your free time while you're home, but you can also, when you're on like a vacation or something, play the game from there on your phone. Yes, you'll have to pay $5 for both platforms separately, but frankly, I think it's worth it. It is one of those games that has gotten me through school so, like, it just... I played it so much through school. I mean, I know that sounds stupid, like, really? But it's the game that I would recommend playing at school if you can. This game has probably an insane amount, like, it has so much content, arguably infinite content. With so many maps, the maps getting very, very difficult, which means a lot more challenging in thinking and plotting, which, I mean, could be arguably annoying for some people, but even for a casual player, there's bosses, there's Odysseys, which is where you play maps, certain challenge maps with certain challenges. There's race events where you basically try to beat a map as fast as possible. You got community-made maps, you got community-made challenges, you got special events. There's so much content besides just the main game. You also have so many different towers, each tower having 3 main upgrade paths that go up to 5 times an upgrade. There's just so much to do, to the point where I am not even close to beating the game. Like, I still have a lot of things to do. And they continually update the game with new content. So there's really I mean, there's technically infinite content. And it's a great game to play on the side. You know, if you ever feel bored, you just pick up the game, play for a little bit. And I think the best part about Bloons TD 6 for me is the co-op as well. If you ever, you know, just want to play with a friend, it's super easy. There's no issues at all with connections usually. And the best part to me is you get rewarded for playing with co-op. Like, that's cool. The only problem why it's not number one is it can get tiring very quickly, because at a certain point into the game you'll start to just feel like it's all the same, and I'm at that point, frankly, right now, where basically I've experienced every single detail of the game, I've done all the tower combinations. It's just not interesting to me right now. But that being said, I still come back to it every couple months. That's how good it is of a game. Like, I seriously think this is a great game. It is arguably one of the best mobile games there is, and it's a PC crossover, so I mean, what more can you expect? Also, I should mention, if you play on mobile and PC, the linking between the accounts is very easy. Like, you can link data very, very easily with no issues. In at number one is Ark Survival Evolved. Now, this is a game you either love or you hate, and as you probably can guess, I love it. Now, this game is basically a survival game, but with dinosaurs, and you can tame them. If that doesn't sound cool to you, I mean, I don't know what to say. Now, it's a lot deeper than that, but that's the basic gist of the game. You start out with nothing, you collect stone, you make your stone tools, and you know, you eventually are able to make drugs, and these drugs can put dinosaurs to sleep, which you can then feed, you know, food to the dinosaurs when they're sleeping, and that's how you tame them. And then you can make saddles and ride these dinosaurs, and those dinosaurs can help you survive against countless many of dinosaurs. And to name some of the cool dinosaurs that you might know that are in this game, raptors are in this game. We have T-Rexes, and this is all on one map, by the way. So on top of there being dinosaurs you can ride, there's also way too many maps. Each map has hundreds of hours of content awaiting you, and there's like 11 of them, I believe, or something around there, 10 or 11. And yes, like 5 of them you have to pay, but the other 5 you don't have to pay for, which means you literally get, I'd say about 700, 800 to 1,000 hours of content just by paying for the game. And you get another couple hundred hours of content for paying for the DLCs. It is 100% worth it. And also, this is probably one of the best progression systems I've ever seen in a game, with you being able to see yourself progress from nothing to something, and it's noticeable. I mean, you literally walk around your base and you'll see dinosaurs that you took hours and hours of your time to tame, just standing there. I mean, it's just a great feeling to go from nothing to seeing a base full of dinosaurs. And of course, the best part of the game also is there is bosses, and they're challenging. They take a lot of time, but when you overcome those bosses, it's the best feeling ever. I don't know what else to say besides this game is basically a game that you'll sink hundreds of hours into, and you won't even notice. It's the only game I've ever played where I've actually spent so much time, like a whole day, just playing the game and not realizing. Like, I've put 16 hours straight into this game. There is no other game I've ever done that for. And this is the only game. It's because it's that addicting. Like, it's a game that will hook you. It's just how it is. Anyways, I should also mention, now that we're at the end of the list, yeah, if you know, because it's summer, you know, coming up, make sure to go outside. I know I sound lame, like, wow. But I'm saying this because, as someone who doesn't, I regret it. I play video games all the time during summer. I've done it all my life. I spent a lot of time inside versus outside. And frankly, it's not, it sounds cool, but there's so much more to the world than video games. So yes, do I recommend playing video games? Of course. If you're a gamer, go for it. But make sure to balance your life with going outside for a little bit. I mean, there's a reason why I'm super low in vitamin D. I'm just telling personal issues for no reason. But yes, I'm way below average in vitamin D, which is because I'm literally inside all the time. Hopefully I sold at least one game to you, and if I didn't, well, sucks to suck. I mean, It's hard to sell a game when you can't really spoil and explain too much. But yeah. Anyways, hopefully everyone has a good summer, or just if you're watching this later, just a good life, I guess. Um, yeah, I don't know how to end that now because I just made it awkward. Just yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. And with that, I am gone. Peace.